difficult to
This is LTV.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by Landmark Self-Storage in Leominster, landmarkselfstorage.com, and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success, enterprisebanking.com.
Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the City of Leominster. We're live this afternoon. Just give me a second here because I have to, let's see. I'm going to try to stream this and, oh, okay. I did it wrong. Too much of a rush today. Let's go to, for some reason, no. Hang in there with me. LTV, there it is. Looks like we share. We write, post, and we post. Thank you very much for hanging in there. Right, Alan? See that? Well, you know, we had a big event at City Hall just now, the graduation of the seniors from the Leominster Center Excellence. And they every year have their graduation. It's a tradition. I didn't want to miss it, but it just got over, which meant I had to make my way here. And traffic is always the heaviest wherever I'm going, it seems. Anyway, very important day today, and that's because Art is on the phone from the Art Report. Art, what's going on out there?
You'd be surprised. Deer season, they're moving. Going golfing the other morning, all that was left was a rear quarter, and it had just happened, I think, by the looks of the situation. What a mess.
Wow.
You know what? I was thinking, with all our flowers we have here, between hanging plants and flower beds and this and that, I have a bad habit. I don't know if it's bad because I don't waste it, but I'll open up a bottle of water and I take it with me, and then before you know it, it's sat there for a day.
Yeah.
And it's bubbly, and I don't throw it away. Take it out and put it in one of the plants.
That's what I do.
So you conserve some water, and you're helping the plant.
That's right.
And it works out. I think it's a good idea for people to try to conserve stuff like that. And
you know, I thought it was funny the other day. I had to go to Concord, and they have all the recycling bins out on the street, and they don't sell water in a bottle. But the bins were filled, the recycle bins were filled with plastic bottles. I didn't get, so you can't buy a bottle of water, just regular water in Concord,
Yeah.
you can't buy one. You have to buy it in like one of those wax cartons and stuff. And, but it's just ironic because the bins are filled with recycled plastic bottles.
Well, you know what else I use for water is our little dehumidifier.
Mm-hmm. That's good
when
water.
When the bin fills up, there's quite a bit in there, a couple of gallons.
Yep.
Take that out and do the big bushes.
Don't throw that away. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to do my part in the conservative. And the carbine is in shock. The bowling alley's going away.
I know. I mean, today,
according to media, the state is going to do something to the building.
Didn't hear about. I mean, they haven't contacted us.
Is that correct? Have you heard that one?
We have not.
It was on the sign.
It was on the sign, but they haven't spoken with us about it. The problem is it's a big building. It's a good-sized building, and what do you do with that building? And let's face it, there are a lot of family businesses where, nobody wants them any. The kids don't want them anymore, and the properties. I mean, imagine if you paid today's rate on that building, what you'd have to pay to buy that business, and then that bowling alley would have to be cranking, 24/7. So, from that standpoint, I don't know who would make that kind of a investment in it just to keep the bowling alley. I mean, it's still pretty cheap.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to do a complete renovation.
Right.
But I did read, if my memory's correct, the for sale sign was it was just short of $1 million. But that's prime property too.
Yeah.
I mean, the traffic on Route 12,
even that's
North
cheap.
Main Street.
To be honest with you, even that's cheap. 18,000 square feet. That's a couple $100 a square. I mean, it's not a lot of money. It's a building on North Main. It's got road frontage. It's got parking. But I get it. There are a lot of businesses. The kids aren't interested. There's nobody else in the family, and so how long you expect these people to continue on? On a brighter note, Launch will be located where the Gardner Furniture Outlet is, where Toys R Us was. And then I think Gardner will shift its way in the mall, that area somewhere. And Launch will, they're going to spend a lot of money. This is a real first-class operation, so it'll have 8 bowling alleys in it, I think. So that's a little better, I guess.
Yeah, and another thing, the other day I was thinking, growing up on North Main, and I started a list of all the houses that are no longer there, that people are hung around, including mine.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the day I signed them. I had taken the house over from my mom, and I signed it over, sold it, and the guy picked up the phone after I signed on the dotted line and said, "Take it down." I left Fitchburg and drove by, and it was half gone.
Yeah. It's too bad. I mean, it's too bad.
That was almost the start of the transition for North Main.
Rick Starr. It's sad because it does bother me that nobody in the family wants to take over some of these businesses. I didn't even get a chance to take a souvenir or a brick from the house. Yeah.
But that's the way it goes. Life goes on just like a bad golf game. Next day could be a good one.
You're right.
Having said that, enjoy your week. Keep up the good work.
Have you been watching the Jubilee, the 4-day Jubilee down there in the Royal Palace?
No.
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 Oh my goodness, you're missing it. It's the Royal Jubilee.
My wife has been watching it.
Yes, 70th anniversary. This is big.
I don't get that stuff. Doesn't interest me for some reason.
Yeah, I like all that traditional. But, I like that ceremony.
I'm hooked on channel 838 with the custom car shows, build and repair shows. Those interest me. In fact, my crate is 24 years old in about a month. And I just took her for a ride today.
I wonder if I can get that on regular TV. Like, is it Netflix or one of those?
It's great stuff.
Yeah,
great stuff.
I think I'd be interested.
There's about 5 or 6 shows where you see from start to finish, and I'm talking $90,000 to $100,000 renovations, like on a 32-foot hot rod. But they do this stuff. They do it beautiful. It's very interesting to watch.
Yep.
Okay, buddy. Hi to everybody.
Over and out.
Stay healthy.
Thank
Be
you.
good.
All
Keep
right.
up the good work.
That was the Big Art from the Art Report. Greets us every week. Man on the street telling us what's going on in his world from his eyes. We're going to take a short break, and then we're coming back because we're going to be talking fire safety. Summer's coming. We shift gears, right? And we start thinking about, you know, a reminder. I think we all know these things. They're all common sense, but just a little bit of a reminder. We'll be right back. Back here at Inside Leominster, and well, it's a busy time of the year, and graduation yes, right? Yes.
Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday, 10 o'clock. Also, and then after that, we'll little Shakespeare at Carter Park. I don't know if you heard about that, but Shakespeare at Carter Park. Bring your own chairs. I think it's 1:30. Let me look through the packet here. It's yellow. I know it is. Remember seeing it? Here it is. Scenes from Shakespeare in the Parks, written by William Shakespeare, for the most part with Thurston in concert, and it's directed by Sally Craig and Jesse Olin, stage managed by Mary Philpotts. And they're going to do 2 performances here at Carter Park, 1:30 and 3:30. Please bring your chairs. If you want to make a donation, they have expenses, right? You pay what you can. If you can afford $1 or $2, fine. Are you going to be there, Ron, for that? Maybe. Ron's a busy guy. He's everywhere. Yes. Look at him. He's down to nothing. Slimmed down. How much weight did you lose so far? 128. Imagine 128. I can't lose 5.
Wow.
And he's making delicious homemade ice cream now.
I know, but Ron, so does this food that you eat and the whole...
It's all low-carb food that I make.
So you just stay away from carbs and sugar?
That's correct.
Sugar too?
Yes.
And carbs?
Yes.
Not bad.
Sounds easy, but those are the 2 ingredients that taste the best.
Well, you just have to make things a different way to trick your stomach that you eat what you... Like I made a homemade lasagna the other day using turkey and ground turkey and turkey slices and provolone cheese.
Oh, that's okay.
Low-carb sauce, marinara sauce.
Yeah.
And ricotta cheese, 1 egg, and Italian seasoning, and I made it just like a lasagna without the noodles.
Oh, that sounds all right. I mean, I think I could eat that.
I make my own rolls.
And how'd the ice cream come out? Ron made his own ice cream.
The ice cream, I use 2 fresh strawberries, puree them, a cup of heavy cream, and then I use confection and swerve.
Yeah, but the heavy cream can't be too good for you.
That's fine. And then I shake it in a mason jar and then put it in the freezer. You got ice cream.
And did it taste all right?
It tastes better than
See, if somebody tells me that something's going to taste, you know, oh wait and try this, and it doesn't taste close to it, I'm a goner. I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. You know, this is, you know, sometimes you try to give you substitutes.
My wife, I'm not knocking Friendly's ice cream. I really love that ice cream over the years, but I counted 22 ingredients on the back of that.
Well, yeah, that's how they make it taste good.
And my ingredients, I only had 4. It's quite a big difference.
I guess so. They charge you extra for those.
It's no good for you.
Yeah. Well, you just gotta, I guess. Well, you've done well.
It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, you've done well. You inspire others. And that's the what is it called? The keto diet. Keto diet. But you know what? Most of the diets are pretty much the same. Even the Atkins was, I think, wasn't that the one you could eat all the meat you wanted? You just had to stay away from sugar and carbs. I don't know about eating all the meat, you know, whether that's good for you. Blasting down juicy burgers with, you know, I don't know. But I guess you lose weight, but that doesn't mean, you know, your heart's not clogged up. All right. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good, how are you,
Well,
man?
Mayor, how are you?
Deputy and a lieutenant on today.
That's right.
I want to thank you both for coming on. And yeah, we're talking about a little, just a reminder, I think most people know summer safety, you know, fireworks. And somebody inevitably will be at a party and they're going to grab a firework and they probably consumed too much alcohol or just, you know, got caught up in the party. And then I was at Mass General and the ear, nose, and throat unit. The day, so I was always one of those people like, come on, I mean, do they really have to run these ads all the time? So I was there the day after Halloween. It was nothing short of a circus. The day after Halloween.
Oh,
And I said, is it always like this here? And they're like, no, it's the day after Halloween. I said, you mean this stuff really happens? I mean, like, and they said, yeah, you should see after July 4th. And the reality is, it does happen. And there were patches on people's eye. I mean, people's ear. It was just, I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
But just so yeah, we're gonna be them tonight. We're gonna be the reminders, just in case you you know, you lose a little. Well, this is a refresher course.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not to get your face about it. It's just, you know, common sense things. You know, like I don't know how many videos I saw of those turkey things there during Thanksgiving, and people put them in and they're frozen.
They're frozen.
Next thing you know, the water hits the oil and
yeah.
there's like sparks flying and grease
impressive.
all over the place.
Yeah.
People are running for cover, tripping over tables and chairs.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, we'll start with you, Deputy Campagna. What's
So a couple of, why don't we just start with fireworks?
let's start with the obvious,
So fireworks,
which are illegal in Massachusetts.
illegal in Massachusetts.
But if you just go over the line, there's like
Yep.
9,000 places, including 7-Eleven that sell them.
sure.
The law doesn't follow you back into Massachusetts, though, when you come back
No,
from
no,
New
but I'm
Hampshire.
just saying. I don't know.
So the big thing with the fireworks.
The only thing I trust myself with is sparklers.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. No, so the big thing with fireworks, you hit the nail on the head, Mayor. They're illegal in Massachusetts. You got to leave it to the professionals. There's people who are professionally licensed for it, and those are the only people who can do it in Massachusetts. We've had so many cases over the years, particularly between Memorial Day and 4th of July, where people take it upon themselves to use it for recreational purposes, and a lot of times it's during those times that we have a lot of accidents, and so you just got to leave. In regards to the fireworks, leave it to the professionals.
Yeah, it's like Monday morning in the summer. You turn on the news, you know, BZ in the morning or WPKZ or something, and you just know they're going to be boating accidents, just like in the winter, right? And you just don't want to hear those things. It's like, yeah, there was an accident here, and then fireworks blew up at a party, and the deck fell off the back of the, you know, and it's like inevitably it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So all we're trying to do is hopefully remind people.
And Mayor, you talked about personal injury. The other thing with fireworks, too, especially around 4th of July, if it's dry out, we haven't had a lot of rain, by setting off those fireworks, you may be starting a brush fire. Those embers might go to your neighbor's house. It could start a house fire. It could start a fire at your own house. So not only is there personal harm risk there, there's also the potential of you might be starting a fire around your neighborhood, either in a structure or out in the woods somewhere. So you got to be very careful. That's why they're illegal. That's why the fire marshal's office puts it out every single year.
Yeah, I know. People hate to see it. They're like, oh, boy, you know, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Lieutenant McKenna and Deputy Campagna, 978-534-1626. That's the phone number. If you'd like to call and ask a question about anything, really, grilling and cooking outside and propane tanks. Before we go anywhere, I have a new one.
Okay.
A new one. In your automobile now, if you run out of gas, guilty as charged, self-inflicted. No, I drove it in late, and I said, I'm tired. It's been a long day. First thing in the morning, I'll go get gas. First thing in the morning. So, inside, normally, you just open the hatch and you'd push in and get this. However, there's a double safety there now. So whatever it is, so if you got a gas can, it doesn't have to make it through one little flapper on your gas, what is the gas?
Yeah, under the gas cap,
with
right?
the gas
Yeah,
cap.
yeah. There's a name for that, I'm sure. There's
Can't
two.
fill.
There's a double safety in there. I suspect in case the nozzle falls out, the gas can't go or something. Well, let me tell you, it's a learning experience.
Sure.
And all in the name of safety.
Yep.
I ended up literally
Covered.
covered with gasoline.
So
Go ahead.
let me comment on that. So gasoline safety is a very
They would, no,
Good way
they
to
made
go.
this so it would be safe,
Right.
so nothing would happen.
Right.
You understand?
I do. So, but regards to getting it on your clothing.
Yes.
So when it gets on your
No,
clothing.
no, you're escaping the subject here.
Okay.
There's somebody made this rule here in this new thing.
It's gotta be the
that
vapor lock.
Nothing
Yeah.
would
it is a
happen.
vapor lock.
What is it?
Yep.
A vapor lock.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they did this for my safety, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, guess what?
It made it worse.
3 trips back to that automotive place on Mechanic Street
Yeah.
before I realized I needed to get, and so I bought like 2 different products, but the hose on it was so thin that the latch would come down and squeeze it, so now the
So
gas
all
comes
the
back
stuff
on.
comes out. Oh, yeah.
Right? So
Oh, yeah.
3rd trip back, I said, just give me an old-fashioned funnel. So
Yeah.
here I was trying to be Mr. Safety.
Yeah.
An old-fashioned funnel,
Yep.
pushes it through. Now I'm dumping all in the name of safety.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
Go ahead.
So I agree with you on the
Thank you.
thing. It's absolutely.
I was so
think
frustrated.
I think they're so complex nowadays.
I was
it
doing the
is
whole
frustrating.
relax.
But you brought good segue. So with gasoline safety in the summertime, it's never good to we use lawnmowers, all that stuff. It's never good to fill gasoline when the motor's still hot. So you want to let it cool down. Make sure your motor's completely cool when you pour gasoline into your lawnmower or whatever tool you're using that needs gasoline to operate. The other thing is, if it gets on your clothes like it did for you, man,
Yeah.
the
So
vapors can stay active
Oh,
for a long time. So if you go and
make toast or something.
make toast or something, you can set your clothes and all that. So those are 2 topics that they just kind of rolled
I'm
into
not
it.
done yet.
Yep. And then,
I'm not done yet.
So for gasoline, always store it, don't store it inside the house, store it outside the house, make sure it's in an approved container.
Let's talk about those safety things
Oh,
they
I knew
have
this
on
was
the
coming,
gas
yeah.
on the gas can. Now, as an observer of human behavior, I like to watch people and see what they do. Most of the people that I'm watching pour gas now into their gas-powered whatever it is, are now removing, unscrewing.
Yep.
Now they're taking the gas can because the safety nozzle that's on there doesn't work.
They don't know how to work it either.
Well, every one of them's different. There's no standard. And then the last time I used the lawnmower was last year. I had to put gas in, so I had to do it. So now I'm trying to push that thing down and whoosh, it all come back on me, right?
Yep.
So these are all done in the name of safety, might I mind.
But they make it more complex. And,
But what's happening is people are taking the cover off. Now that's even more dangerous because now you got
100%.
gas spilling all over the place, and if you don't turn it just right, stuff goes all over your place. So I couldn't wait, and I didn't invite you on this. You just made me think of the morning that I had. This went on for like 2 hours. I'm like, wow. Then I went back, and the guy said, try this. So I tried that, but it was a long, like nylon tube, and I said, oh, this with a little funnel at the top. The problem is when that latch, the vapor latch, goes down. It cuts off it's not rigid enough, so it cuts off the flow, which means now it comes back up. And now you're running around with a funnel filled with gas. Now what do you do with that?
Yeah,
now you
right.
try to pour it back. No, this is a horror show.
I couldn't agree more with you.
You have to do a couple of test runs, fill it up with water, and go out there and see if you can water the plants.
Now
and
you're talking something that requires complete patience. And I was just, poor Tara was there, and she's being so patient, and I'm like, I can't believe this. Is this what they make us do? It's just, anyway.
Yep.
All right, so we talked about fireworks and grilling, propane tanks. Could be dangerous. Before we get to that, if you have a shed or you're storing your gas, sometimes I walk into these people's sheds or garages and stuff. It's like 100 in there, and they got a tank of gas, and it looks to me like the tank is swelling. You know, those plastic gas tanks. Are they? I mean, can you get a fire from it? I mean, no.
It's an approved container, so basically what that approved container is looking to do is to mitigate the risk of an explosion,
but
looking
why
to
does it
mitigate
swell?
the risk. Because
So
of the heat.
the best thing to do is invest in a good. Like, if you're going to have a gas tank, I guess invest in a good one, right?
Yeah.
You know, just spend a little money and get a real funnel with a long, just in case something happens. Even if you, Anyway, just invest in good things when you're messing around with that. Propane tanks have new safety valves on them that you can only have them for a certain amount of time, and then they'll say, yeah, it's time to scrap them. So but they have those little plastic things and kind of put it on. You don't take a wrench to it anymore. It's hand tightened. Does that make a good enough seal that you don't have to worry about tightening it?
It does, again. I mean, that's something that's over-engineered for that
that's what I
very
figured.
purpose.
I like it. I like it better than the wrench, because sometimes you get the old wrench on it and crescent wrench,
and you go a
tighten
little
it
bit too
much.
hard. Exactly.
And then later you're like taking a hammer.
You're doing everything you shouldn't do.
Exactly. And is there a shelf life, like a smoke detector? Is there a shelf life on a tank?
I think they come with an expiration on the
They
tank.
do.
I don't know exactly.
But they know.
offhand,
The
but
people that fill them up, kind of. They know. And then when you're transporting it, you're supposed to have one of those little caps on it too. When you're transporting it from.
They're going to be upright. They're going to be secure. They're going to have.
I have a milk crate, and I've always put it in the milk crate, and it has a little plastic cap I bought or they gave me, and I just transport it that way. And
well, and that's kind of like a. Now that you brought that up, that's kind of a. With the mini propane tanks, a lot of people don't know what to do with them nowadays. So that's kind of something that we're trying to get a handle on ourselves, as far as like the grill ones, you know, the 20-pounders. But most Blue Rhino.
what do you do with them later, you mean?
Yeah, like a lot of people don't know what to do with them.
I guess you take them out.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And say, here, I'll have another one.
Right. So, and if they
I bought
take them,
this one
that's
from you. It worked real good, but time's up. Would you mind taking this one back? I mean, I imagine they must have a place to dispose of them, right?
I think those companies are the ones who
Otherwise,
make that who make those rules. But
right, 978-534-1626, and talking fire safety and just common sense things. Disposal. The other day, I don't know how this happened. I went back inside. I said, Wendy, I got to go. I'm really busy. But one of those planters out front was on fire, like smoldering for a while, and we couldn't even find a cigarette. Somebody might have just flicked an ash in it. I think to myself sometimes, really? Can that really happen? And it does.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll let Shawnee talk about
whether it's smoking safety, one of the things you have to be careful too is bark mulch.
That's what it was. There was a little bit of bark mulch on the top.
There's always, so it's decomposing, but that creates a lot of heat underneath the surface that people they may not realize it. And then you put that on top of baking in the sun for a while, you absolutely can see fires. There have been actually some pretty catastrophic fires in the state of Massachusetts that have been caused because bark mulch is right up against a building. Yeah,
it dries out more than anything. It's a dry time of year now. I know.
Absolutely.
You dig down a little bit. The other night it rained, but that sheets off. That doesn't really sink into the ground. It won't
sink in and get deep.
And then the other thing is that I didn't think it was possible is I had a tenant once, and it was a massage therapist, and they oils and they wipe you down and throw the towels in the corner. And then I smelled smoke. And I called my tenant. I said, do you mind if I go in? Because I smell smoke and I can't tell where it's coming from. And I opened it up and it was all white smoke in there. And
that's it. Chemical reaction. That's actually generating a heat. It can generate enough heat that it can spontaneously combust.
I think what happened is he just came back from he did his own laundry. I think he came back from the laundromat, and there was still enough oil on him, and there was heat, and it started that. What is it called?
Chemical reaction.
Chemical
so
reaction,
the oily reacts. Spontaneous combustion.
And I thought, well, there's another one that I thought really, couldn't possibly happen. Because you're out there sometimes, and if you're trying to start a campfire, I mean, it could be weeks before you get it going. The wood's dry. You got 40 editions of the Boston Globe. You still can't get it going. And then just a little spark just starts a fire. Just like the incident at the high school there. Now, that wasn't deliberate or anything.
No.
What was it?
The Skyland.
Skyland. First of all, I don't even know what it is, but here's something that's, simple, and then it ignited. Like, what's the chances of that?
Well, speaking of that, that's another one right? So it's illegal. It's illegal in the state of Massachusetts.
What is it? I don't even know what it is.
It's made of like the lantern itself is almost made like a paper mache with like a little
All right, so I
tin
do
rim.
know what it is.
Yeah.
And you light it. You light it.
And
the
there's
thing
like a
goes
little, there's like a
airborne
little
from the
ring
air?
airborne.
Yeah, candle on
But the
the
heat
inside.
makes enough for it to rise.
Yeah.
Generates the updraft.
And
yeah.
then just sort of the wind takes it, and then you hope it goes out.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
in reality,
Right. And the tough part there, Mayor, is people unknowingly will buy it online, not knowing that it's
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they're
and
gonna sell
and that's where.
I mean,
that's
it's
where it goes.
these are things that you think just never could happen.
Yeah.
And they all happen right here.
Oh, yeah.
In the
Oh,
ci-
yeah.
in our city.
And environmental factors. I mean, one thing as firefighters that we're always concerned about, whether it be a structure fire, wildland fire, is the wind. It's amazing what the wind can do, especially when we talk about campfires or fires that you may have in the backyard. You may think it's extinguished, but
Yeah.
you could have coals that are underneath that top surface
Right,
that are
that
still
you
staying
can't see.
pretty hot. And as soon as that wind kicks up, now you're introducing a bunch of oxygen. That's what that fire needs to
Right.
grow and
It's
to
like,
get really
I
big.
love it. Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
In your example, someone puts a cigarette butt out, throws it on the ground, it may look extinguished, and then the wind kicks up. There's enough heat still left on that cigarette that it can actually generate ignition and create a fire.
Well, and the big thing there too, to piggyback off what Shawn said, Mayor, if someone say, so 3-deckers, right? A lot of porches, a lot of people go outside to smoke. If they don't put it all the way out, to Shawn's point, a smoldering fire can be smoldering for a long time,
long
generate a lot
time.
of heat.
Like, a
Then
long time.
Something significant could be happening outside, and they don't get the fire alarms inside
Right.
until you're in a sticky situation. You know what I mean? So-
Excellent. And 534-1626, that's the phone number. And let's talk about the other piece, which is they make a lot more outdoor. Before, you got a couple folding chairs, you'd sit outside, and you listen to the Red Sox game, and you fire up the hibachi or something, and that was it. Today, they make all these things like those turkey things, and they make these now outdoor fire pits and smokers, and I notice even in apartment houses, and I cringe, they got a fire going. You know, they're cooking on the grill, or they got a fire going in a small pit on the porch
Yeah, you
on the
can't do
third
that.
floor. I mean, that's just a recipe for not only bad burgers, but to have your house burned down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, this go down to Market Basket and get a $3 burger because this isn't going to be worth it.
That's
so
dangerous.
you can't have any grills on any
So
porches,
that's- right.
balconies, 10 feet away from the house.
Because you got grease dripping.
Away from the
and
eaves
Heat.
and-
I mean, you got
yeah,
all the common,
overhangs.
you got
Yeah.
all the wrong things
Oh
jiving
yeah,
there.
oh yeah. Plus,
Other sources of ignition, and especially overhangs too, especially with something above you. Think about all that heat wants to travel upward. And if you have anything that's overhanging with that grill underneath it, that's eventually going to heat. And we talk about pyrolysis all the time, where something heats and cools, heats and cools, heats and cools. You're breaking down the components of whatever that heat's touching. It might get to a point eventually where all it needs is a little bit of heat, a little bit of wind, and that's going to create a
Melts the
fire.
old oil-based paint, and the next
That's
thing
it,
you know,
right? Yeah.
you got
Yep,
something
yep.
going on.
You got a problem.
That's clearly not any fun to have that happen.
No.
Yeah, bottom on the subject, and I'm not a salesperson for insurance companies, but one of the things that I notice and have had conversation with enough people now is we never want to see a house catch on fire or a property of any kind, but the $250,000 house you might have gotten your insurance on at one point is no longer $250,000 to replace it. So if you have your fire in the house and you've got coverage for $250,000, they're probably going to give you $250,000, but it's probably going to be more like $350,000 or more. So have a healthy. Nobody likes to pay insurance. Guilty as charged. And it's just one of those things, But have a conversation with your insurance company, and they probably don't want to bring it up because they're going to think you're trying to upsell them. But just have a conversation about the what ifs.
Oh, yeah.
What if something were to happen? And you want to be prepared. The last thing you want to hear is, well, here's a check for $200 or $250, and then you hire a contractor, and they're like, oh no, with the new heating systems and new plumbing and all the new code and everything that's in there. Oh, we're talking, much more than that. Now you got to go out and borrow money to get your house fixed, right? I mean, think of that. So look at what the question is. What is it? What would you sell your house for today, and what is the replacement value? Right? Have that conversation because, for the difference of $50 or $100 a year, and I don't know what it is, but it can't be that much. you could find yourself in, you know, in an unfavorable situation. So just so you know that sometimes you see a house or a property that's been sitting for a long time that had a fire. I could think of one on the street that we're about to demolish. They had no insurance on the property, none, and that's sad because they had a fire that you know, took the entire property. Just the whole thing is, and they had no funding to even pay the taxes to keep the property, to maybe pay somebody to tear it down and maybe sell the property. So it ended up in the city's possession. So you don't want that to happen. So as a full disclosure, I don't sell insurance. I buy insurance. I don't have any vested interest, but just something you might want to have a conversation about.
It's a very good point, man.
I don't know. I mean, your prices have gone up so much, right? It's you know, you don't want to find yourself short on, you know, get the bad news, which is, yeah, the good news is you were insured. The bad news is not for enough.
Right. Mayor, do you
Pool
mind?
safety. Can we do that one?
That's exactly what I was going to get to.
Yeah, let's get to that.
So pool safety, and what I would say is swimming safety in general. Over the last few years, I don't know if you've noticed, there's been a lot of, it feels like there's been more drownings.
Yeah, Monday morning, you'll hear it all. Boat accidents, fire accidents,
Exactly.
fireworks.
So the big thing around pools is for parents, stay away from your cell phones. If you have young kids, put your cell phone away, watch your kids in the pool.
If you're not going to watch your kids, take them out of the pool.
Right. It doesn't take long, especially for young children, for something.
Because you can get really deep into the phone, depending on what you're doing with it. You're watching something, or a video, or TikTok, or something, you know, just simple. Or you listen to something, and you get deep into it. Next thing you know. Yeah,
and exactly, Mayor. And it doesn't take long for young children. So it's imperative, especially parents with young children, put your phones down by the pool and make sure you get your eyes on your children. Don't drink too much around. Don't lose your senses. And, don't get to the point where your motor skills can't function and go swimming.
When the lampshade comes out, it's time to button up the pool and bring out the lawn chairs and tell everybody that it's time to read Macbeth or to read Edgar Allan Poe or something, because we're doing risk management at this point.
That's right. And then for outside of pools, for lake swimming during the summer, we've had a lot of that as well, Shawn. And I think one of the things people forget is oftentimes in bigger bodies of water, it doesn't have to be an ocean, but it's deeper than you think.
Or more shallow than you think.
Or more shallow than you think, exactly.
The kid that goes off the Tarzan swing up there at Shawn Farms in the back where they're not supposed to be.
Right.
The next thing, we're up there hauling them out because he just broke his shoulder or something, and that's a haul to get somebody out of there.
Absolutely.
These are all common sense. I mean, I hate to say it, but these are all common sense.
It is.
And I get it, and people want to have fun, and they got a drink or two in them, and the next thing the guy thinks he can do the double cannon thing off the deck or off the roof, and it lands on his back, and God forbid something happens. So we don't want those things to happen. So, and you know what? If you're a homeowner and these things happen and you have guests, guess where they're going? After your insurance. You know, your best buddy. Best buddy in the world. When you find out you can't work because you busted something or you're hurt, right? The first thing that they're going to tell you is, well, they have homeowners insurance, and they invited you to this. And next thing you know, you're answering derogatories and depositions, and you're being sued because you own the property. 978-534-1626 is the number to call. The other thing is, there are, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, and maybe Lieutenant McKenna or Deputy Campagna know, but based on the height of the pool, you have to have it fenced in. I want to say it's 3 feet. I'll see if I'll check with Pete and Niall, but there is code on that, depending on how tall the pool is, because obviously a little kid can run into your yard. It's your yard. Maybe the kid's just or wandered away, and you've got a pool and you don't even know.
Exactly.
So there is a code on that.
I don't know the exact height, but I was going to say, hopefully you have a fence around that pool.
Right.
Not only for your own children's protection, your own family's protection, but the neighbors that are around your house. And even if you have that infrastructure, check on it. Make sure that it's still doing its job. If you have a gate, when you lock that gate, triple check it. Make sure it's locked and it's locked properly. A lot of times what people will forget too is they'll put a fence around the pool, but you can still access it from the house. So if that's the case, make sure your slider door or something like that, triple check that
know.
lock.
These are all-
because the kids can get out, and it's amazing what they
And
can
it's
do.
hard. Believe me, I know. A
Oh,
million things are going on. There's one kid inside.
Take your eyes away from
He
1
wants to
second
have
minutes.
chocolate milk and chocolate cookies and chocolate-covered, pretzels, and he's got chocolate all over him, and he's sticking his hand down the garbage disposal. The other kid's trying to get out in the deck.
Yeah.
These things happen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, nobody intentionally does
No,
these things, but you can get pretty inexpensive alarms today. You can get them really cheap. I don't know, 20, 10 bucks, 15 bucks for a cheap alarm. So if somebody goes by that alarm, it'll trigger it off. You can get them battery operated, although you got to replace the batteries. But there are a number of things. If you're going to invest in these kinds of things, invest in the safety and security of it, because the last thing you want is for somebody to get hurt from it. So.
And even the temporary fencing, Mayor, make sure it's standing. Make sure it's up. Like when you just put in a new pool, it takes a while to get the fence in. Make sure that temporary fencing is the posts are in and they're up. You know what I mean?
So I got to commend the chief and the whole team. When COVID hit, it really provided us with an opportunity to rethink, housing for firefighters, how we operate. And so today we're at the old Lancaster Street School Plastic Museum, 210 Lancaster Street, and it's like the building was built for the fire department, for the headquarters, training, but it's just been a handicap accessible. It's really become a showpiece. Everyone that goes in is like, wow, have you seen it? I said, yeah, it's amazing down there. Done a good job.
Oh, it's tremendous. We appreciate it, Mayor.
Yeah.
The chief's done a tremendous job over there. And for those that don't know, they haven't been inside the building. We actually have a training facility inside that building right now that we use on a regular basis. And that allows us to not only keep our skills proficient, it allows us to try some things that we weren't able to do in the past. Because of what we are able to do within that building. It's been a tremendous resource for the fire department. Everybody in the department really appreciates it, and we're getting the most out of that building.
Yeah,
It really is
every
perfect
little
for us.
nook and cranny is eventually going to be used. And a lot of the work was done by our own tradespeople, people that work at the fire department.
That's right.
And then Engine 3 had a renaissance, Engine 2, I mean, it's kind of all over the place and in every place. But we had to spread people out because of COVID. And you know what? People get colds, and you don't know it the first couple of days. Now you spread it around. Now you got people out sick. So the housing situation changed for the better. I think that's just it really is nice now, and not everybody's like in a communal area there, and so people have a little privacy. But COVID made us think all about that. And the other part is I tell kids all the time about training, and with police and fire, even if you work, no matter what you do in life, there's training. And it's training on top of training, up to training. And for kids that can't sometimes understand, why you practice and why you practice and why you practice, I say, well, imagine you're assigned. In bigger fire departments, it's even bigger, is you might work every day, or most of the days, you might work downtown at Central Station, right, at headquarters. But a particular day, you're working overtime or covering for somebody, and that's on Engine 3. So, yeah, you might be up there, and you go to a fire, and there's supposed to be a particular piece of equipment in a particular cabinet. Now, this is life-saving. This seconds matter. If you go to open that door and that's not there, you can't run down to Home Depot, or you can't stop a guy in a pickup truck and say, hey, you got a 3/8 inch. It's not the case.
Just like if you've ever been on a sports team, I probably had coaches that say, practice like the way you play.
Right.
We look at it the exact same way. We need to be proficient with our equipment. We need to be efficient with the fire trucks, and we need to be efficient with our tactics. And we don't have minutes, hours, days when that fire bell rings. It has to be muscle memory.
You got to be rehearsing in your mind over and over, like preparing before you even get there. Like, okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to grab that. But boy, when that cabinet opens, you just and pretty much training is standardized across the country. I mean, pretty much firefighters across the country are getting trained in the same way, right? So when you have mutual aid, these other fire departments are coming from a town or a city. And sometimes if it's a big fire, they're coming from all over. There's pretty much consistency, or at least it sounds it. Now, obviously, not everybody trains together, but there's some harmony and consistency in what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Certainly the basics.
Right.
We would consider the basics.
Sure.
Maybe different equipment. We may have different turnout gear.
Right.
But we should all know how to pull a hose line, how to throw a ladder, how to tag that hydrant. Exactly.
What's the A side, the B side? Right.
Correct.
I mean, that sort of thing is pretty standard. Caller, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'd like to talk to you about the traffic in North Leominster. I was sitting at the red light coming off of River Street last couple of days, and I noticed that the red light on the corner of Prospect and Main turns red, and about 10 seconds later, the red light on Hamilton Street turns red. In the meantime, a couple of tractor trailers and 2 or 3 cars fill up the whole queue, and nobody can get out of Hamilton Street.
Well,
when will that be fixed?
Well, I mean, right. So what happens is there's loops in the ground, the metal loops, and that tells whether there's somebody there or not. So the lights know if there's nobody coming out of River Street, then just keep the cars going north and west.
Right, but I'm talking about Hamilton Street.
No,
when they're coming out of Hamilton Street, the queue is full when they get a green arrow.
Right, but what I'm trying to tell you is they ripped them all out when they did construction. So right now it's on timers, and so I called the chief a couple of weeks ago because traffic was backed up on Nashua Street for probably a mile. And so what we've been doing is putting police officers out there because they're gridlocking the intersection. So at busy hours a day, they've been out there and just pulling people over, just increasing visibility so people won't gridlock. But once the new lights are in, it's going to be remarkable when you see that all those intersections work the way they do. Now, remember, there's 26,000 cars a day coming through there. This will help bring them through in an orderly fashion. It'll tell you when it's time to turn. It's going to be altogether different.
At 2:30 today, I was coming off of Route 2, and I was in the breakdown lane by the deck hockey on Route 2 because it was so backed up getting off of Route 2.
Right.
And that's not safe if you ask me.
Well,
but
part
anyway,
of it is they were doing construction over there in front of Engine 3 today, all along there from River Street to Hamilton.
At 2:30 this afternoon, construction was over.
They were done? Boy, that's a quick day.
Now,
but you understand, that's all going to be, that's why we're spending $10 million down there.
The main question I have for you now is, when is the project scheduled to be done? At the end of the present fiscal year, or is it going to go beyond into the summer?
No, fall. They've got to move some more lines off the poles. The poles have all been relocated, I think. And they're doing some other drainage work. And the lights are all in, and so they say fall. They got an extension to go to fall because they couldn't get all the parts for the lights.
Right, okay. So, well, hopefully the traffic isn't as bad until the school starts back up again, because a couple of weeks from now, school will be over.
Well, I expect they're going to spend that kind of money over there, that it's going to make things safer and move more vehicles through. They've widened the roads. I mean, it's not going to, this is the problem is and I got nothing against what Lunenburg does in Lunenburg, building apartment houses at the old drive-ins and, or at the old Whalen Park, and Fitchburg with its warehouses and Amazon. I got no issue, but we have spent an incredible amount of our own resources. Now, North Leominster, I don't even know the last time a house was built there, but go into Lunenburg, go into Townsend. So everybody does everything, and then they drop it on, it all ends up in that intersection. And Fitchburg is building an Amazon, and that means more trucks and vans. Well, we just straightened out Crawford and Hamilton. We're going to straighten out North Leominster. We've spent an incredible amount of resources on Route 12. What's that going to do? And so we're asking for traffic studies on all of those because we just want to know, how much more. You can't just keep pushing the traffic on, you can't push water onto somebody's property, right? You can't just.
I understand with that. With the Amazon warehouse that's building.
Yep.
With the Amazon warehouse they're building, that when you go down Crawford Street where it turns into Airport Road, right there, the bridge in Nashua, over the Nashua River, they got a sandbank there in Fitchburg. Well, they're going to come out that they're going to put a road through that sandbank and come out on this side, on the Leominster side of the river. They're not going to access that as their primary access off of Intervale Road. It's going to come out onto Crawford Street.
Right, and then where are they going to go? Crawford Street?
Right, they're going to come right down
or
down
Route 12.
Up Hamilton Street intersection.
Right, after we just fit, you got to look at the whole picture. You got to. So when we did Walmart and a lot of the big projects we did, the state required us to do what they call an EIR, Environmental Impact Report. That encompasses the whole entire area, everywhere. It included Lancaster, it included Sterling, it included Leominster, side streets, it included everything. It included, things like drainage and impact to traffic. And so I thought that was already going on, and then I found out it wasn't. So we're going to ask for a traffic study on our own because that's what I said. It's been our human capital in our, having to accidents and everything else. So you know, nothing. Good luck to Lunenburg if they want to put more housing in. God bless them. You know, but they did Whalum. I don't know how many apartments there. Then they did the old drive-in, and then they've been building houses. And the same thing in Townsend, and then it all ends up at Route 13 at the intersection of Hamilton and.
I know it's just too bad that in the late '80s,
like
when they built 190 in the late '80s, it's too bad they didn't put it all the way through to Route 101 through Townsend.
Yeah, well, I guess they used whatever available resources they had, but
Right.
we're ending up.
So much been built there, they can't take any of that stuff from
No,
eminent
it's
domain
impossible
anymore.
now. But we're ending up with the you know the traffic issues, and with no consideration as to okay, we're going to build this. What impact if there's 24? We were already an F at those intersections, and how could you allow anything? Yeah, maybe it's not bad out in front of where you are. Maybe at that intersection where CVS is in Lunenburg. Yeah, it's a cakewalk. They put some lights in. It works great. But all those people end up either, and in Fitchburg, same thing. I'm happy for Fitchburg. It means new revenue, jobs. I couldn't be any happier, but all you got to do is look towards Milford and see what's going on out there. They put a warehouse up there. It's been it's an Amazon warehouse, and it's been a disaster. First of all, everybody's got to get to work. Then they get a van and they take off. And then there's tractor trailers coming in because they've got to fill the warehouse. And then the vans take them, and it's just, how many more cars is that going to put on the road and what impact?
They're putting another one down where the Greendale Mall was.
Yeah, but I mean, that's right at the interchange. They're not going through people's neighborhoods or other roads.
Right.
They're jumping right on the road. And 190 is pretty much underutilized at this particular point. 290 is a whole other story. But I just wonder, why were we always required to do these environmental impact reports and then nobody else was?
Yeah.
All right, I got to do pictures of the week or I'm going to be in trouble.
Very good. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Larry, take care.
Bye-bye.
Hang on, guys. And remember, the first question on the next test is going to be, did you get up with the microphone still attached to you?
Yep.
Let's do some quick questions here. Here are the numbers. These are as of 4 days. We're at 200 over the last 14 days. 23,000 people got tested, 1713 on positive, 28 deaths in 4 days, 181 new cases in Worcester County, which is actually a significant drop. So the numbers are going down. It's National Moonshine Day, Spring Bank Holiday. It's Orthodox Session Day, National Rotisserie Chicken. I still want to know what is in those chickens that makes them taste that good, because you can roast a chicken all day long, and it never tastes like that. There's something related to Dr. Kevorkian, or they infuse salt or sea salt or something's in there. I don't know what, but it's good stuff.
Though.
You can't stop eating it. And National Rocky Road Day. My favorite cookie is Rocky Road's. Chupa the Color Day. It's National Leave the Office Early Day. Don't you dare. National Bubba Day. Republic Day in Italy. And American Indian Citizenship Day. And National I Love My Dentist Day. There you go. So here's some of the projects we're working on in and around the city. We'll go by that for now, but we'll update you later. Don't forget, Farmers Market, 11 to 2 on June 4th. And June 11th is the Summer Stroll, 3 to 7. If you have an antique car, you'd like to be in the parade, let us know. If you're a vendor, have a business, 970-534-7500. And then the rail trail opens officially as if it, I mean, this has got to be the biggest non-opening ever on a rail trail.
Forever.
This is like Prince, formerly known as Prince, but now his name is Ivan or something. But seriously, I can't believe how many people are on the rail trail. And it's not even open, but we're officially going to open on June 22nd, so be there with us. The time is to be determined. And then Pink Flamingo Day on June 23rd, 5 to 7. And also, if you've never attended, the firefighters have a memorial, and that is June. It's the Sunday after the Sunday, whatever that is. So
correct,
it'd be
yeah.
7 and 7, 14th.
14th, I believe.
Okay. All right.
Second Sunday.
Second Sunday of the month. All are welcome. Here we go. Summer Concert Series starts tonight, Neon Alley, right over at Carter Park. And they have a food truck over there, so you don't even have to go home and eat. You just go right there, 7 o'clock, and then there's the whole lineup for right through the summer. Colonial Band starts theirs July 12th. They're all free. It's the 113th consecutive session of free. And the Italian Center for Italian Culture 20th Anniversary Gala. Go to fitchburgstate.edu/CIC. That's June 11th. Pictures of the week. Here we go, guys. I never know what's on here, so here we go. Play ball at the Lassie League. I get to throw the first ball. Actually, I kidnapped one of the little kids and had them do it. They did better than me. And so there we were at the opening of Lassie League. We did a hazard and mitigation plan. Kind of one of these subjects that sounds boring, but it's really important to have one of these plans in place. Not to mention, you can't get grants without it. Like the town purple, there we were downtown. We had the Songbirds from Fallbrook, and great night. And as usual, it was 100 degrees in the sun. Next year, we're going to get an awning or something. I squinted the whole night. Budget presentation with new technology. So I think the city council, and it made it a lot easier for people to see the budget and not just hear about it, but actually see it up on the TV. So good job. Staying cool downtown. A lot of families have been coming downtown. All you gotta do is hit that little button on the right in front of the wood block. And if you have trouble finding it, call Deputy Campagna. He'll tell you where it is. New roads, paved and striped. There we go. Why do we put stripes? The white line on the right is the fog line, so it gets really foggy, can't see. Count on that right line, so you're not picking off trash barrels and people's mailboxes in a fog. And the middle line is to just, when the lanes are smaller, people travel slower. And there's, again, all the department heads participated in the hazard mitigation plan, and the instructor, the facilitator said is a colorful group. Summer flowers planted downtown. Sally and Larry are out there and planting with full force, and you should see the shine. You'll one day come through town, and all of a sudden, it will be bang. So much talent at Francis Drake that the entire, you can tell people want to go out. The entire cafeteria was filled with parents and kids, and the kids did a great job. Great job by the middle schools, Leominster High School. Construction continues on Route 13. Continues on 12. That's really something. They're doing a nice, you know, it's like they're working, but traffic keeps moving. Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful thing, because when it doesn't, that's when my phone rings. White Cross ceremony, all of the activities this weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody came out. This was Memorial Day for all of those who have gone before us. And we remembered, right? I think all the guests that were there, the general, the captain that was there, everybody said the same thing. It was, you know, thank you. This community comes out, and they were impressed by that. And there's the Reynolds family and the Roberge family. They hand out the flags. I just hand them to them. They hand them out. And it's something to see when, you know, the sacrifice of their kid handing an American flag to another little kid, huh? And that's something. And welcome Johnny Appleseed School today. Kids were great. Took a little tour of the downtown. And that's our photos of the week.
Okay.
Look at, he's nervous. He thinks, I better do it now while I'm thinking about it. Don't worry, you won't be the first one to end up driving down Central Street still attached and your chair attached to it. All right, we're out of time here at Inside Leominster. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the whole crew at Inside Leominster coming in here every single week. They do a great job. Thank you to our sponsors. All right, we got to go. God bless you. God bless this beautiful country, our beautiful city and state. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You need to show up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated, and by Landmark Self-Storage in Leominster, landmarkselfstorage.com, and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success. enterprisebanking.com.
This is LTV.